Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm delighted to have Jeroen with us today from Netherlands. And welcome, Jeroen. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Yes, thanks, Bobby. I'm Jeroen Kraaijenbrink. I think I used to be a strategy person. That's kind of where my career has been so far, from academia to consulting and training and so on, and increasingly moving to more coaching types, like helping people kind of stand tall in this challenging world. That's it for now.
Yeah, thanks. And just for our audience, I'm excited to have you as a guest because we've been talking over the years and just see a lot of alignment on how we think about the role of male leaders in the world and, just the discernment to think through how we show up because each of us
Mhm.
have an impact on not just the stakeholders that we serve, but really the ripple that we have. So that's what I make up is going to be very valuable for our guests to hear our conversation. Also, before we dive in, I love your background, those bottles. You want to tell us a little bit about your bottles?
That's my own creative work. So somehow I wanted to create something with blue glass because that felt right. I like the color. So I bought probably in a in the surroundings all the spare blue glass and kind of connected it to the ceiling, and I like it very much. It's a good room divider. Like there's a secret room behind this with a couch and a TV and all of that you can't see. I like it as a working place.
I love it. I love it. It's very creative. So let's jump in, my friend. How do you define respect? Primarily in the workplace, many people have said, look, it's the same personal or
It's the
work,
same.
but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So please tell us how you define respect.
Yeah, I don't have a crisp, clear definition, but I think one aspect of it is to treat people as a full person, as an adult, not as someone inferior, not as a kid, not as someone worth less. And I think that's actually in the workplace happening most, where based on your position, you're presumably more valuable to the company, more important. So everyone that reports to you is worth less, is a less valuable person. I can't really get that, and I think, but it's happening. So treating people as adults is an important part of it, where acknowledging they have not just if you are in the production environment, for instance, that they're not just have hands and legs and a body, but they have a head and a heart as well. One thing that I have used as an example quite often in my teaching is there is really smart, intelligent, experienced people that in their private lives they are in the board of a soccer club or a tennis club and are kind of responsible for thousands of dollars and euros and people, and then they go to work, they have kind of manual work, and then they kind of take off their hats, put it in in the closet, and then just do the stupid work. And I think that kind of respect, like treat everyone as a full human being, as an intelligent person, an adult, is for me a very important part of respect. Connected to that, I think another maybe the kind of the flip side of it is respect people's role in the system and separate role from person. Like if I'm the CEO and you are, I don't know, the assistant of somewhere in someone in the organization, as people, we're equal. We're worth the same. We're probably close to equally intelligent. We just had different opportunities. You may be much more creative than I am. You may be more empathetic. You may be a nicer person, a more successful person privately than I am as a CEO. So there is kind of, we have our equal issues, we have our equal strength, whatever the position. But I do have a different position. And I think that's important to realize that recognize, acknowledge people's position, and that kind of defines your role in the company, but it's not who you are. And where I see this go wrong in here in the Netherlands, to give you a Dutch perspective, in like when I visit a restaurant here or a bar, service is not something we're I think very well known for as a country, as a people. Because we are, I think, and I'm overgeneralizing, of course, but we are very kind of egalitarian, like we're all equal and hierarchy, we're a bit allergic for that as the Dutch. But it also means that serving other people is kind of, why should I? We're equal. So here's your drink. Be happy that you get it anyway. And kind of this non-servant, non-serving mentality, which I think true respect would be okay. Now we are in different roles. Let's just stay in these roles and kind of I respect you as a client. I respect you as a waiter. And let's just play that role respectfully, acknowledging that that doesn't say anything about us as people. So separating between role and person, I think is a very important one. And then treat everyone as a full person beyond their role.
Very powerful. Thank you. What I'm hearing is really that connection between role and power and how it gets misused.
Mm-hmm.
Reminder of Brene Brown, I don't know, in Netherlands, and yes, I'm sure in the
Mm-hmm.
world you're in, you know about her. But her
Mm-hmm.
work, and especially what she says about power, that power over versus power with. So
Yeah.
yes, you have responsibilities in a role to do what you have to get done, but you do it with power with, which is you enroll people on with you rather than over them. So that's a way I'm hearing what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a very interesting concept. And I don't want to kind of make this an historical episode, but this goes back to one of the founding mothers of the field of management, Mary Parker Follett. She has written, maybe almost used the same language. Like power is not something you have over people. It's not hierarchical, but it's power with. It's the ability to activate a group of people to work towards a common cause. So I think that's a very similar. It's 100-year old. Great book, by the way, on management.
Thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. And just again for our audience, I believe we're living in times that there's a lot of separation and a lot of power over, and there's amazing leaders who are doing the power with that just don't get, their agenda, their narrative doesn't get the mass media and social media coverage as the noisier ones do. I believe in doing this work because let me close with this on this topic. A lot of us say, I get attracted to like-minded people. I'm a
Hmm.
big believer in that. I believe I end up working with and partnering with people that are like-hearted. So that's what
Hmm.
I see in you. And I think we have
Yeah.
lots of us out there. We just need to
Oh yes,
be
we're
seen.
silent. We're not so loud, and it's so yeah. There's this undercurrent, I think, of lots of good people doing respectful things, treating each other respectfully, with the best intentions. Media is not developed for that, so it's not the mechanism that works very well for that. But it's
Yeah.
there.
Excellent, my friend. So let's get to the second question, which is how do you know, because you're working with lots of organizations, you've been a leader in
Hmm.
organizations, how do you know when respect is present in an organizational culture? What are some of those telltale signs?
Yeah, it feels good. That's kind of the very vague. I think, yeah, but it's not a very helpful answer, but it's you simply know it when you're there and you feel people treat each other respectfully. It's a safe place. And I mean, in just really a good way. It's kind of horizontal. So it doesn't mean there is a lack of hierarchy. There can be hierarchy because that, again, is kind of when you respect people's roles, you respect, like, there is hierarchy because that's just how that organization works. It makes it functional, it makes it effective, efficient. But a lot of, I think, transparency is not even the right word, but you can say what you think. So no, not a big difference between what people are saying and what they are thinking and actually meaning. So no, so it's probably more recognizable on what's absent, and that's part of the question as well. Like how do you recognize when it's not there? I think when there's a lot of when the explicit conversation is different from the implicit conversation, when what is being said in meetings is not authentic, is not honest, is hiding parts, it's avoiding parts, and when there are kind of different intentions, different hidden agendas. So I think so respect for me is very much kind of a maybe kind of a container term for good company culture. Like if there is respect, there is open, transparent communication. There is no hidden agendas. Which doesn't it doesn't mean we are all naive and completely open about everything. No, but just in meetings, the conversation is real.
Yeah.
And it's something for me, maybe I've recognized it very well because I'm completely allergic and also incapable of doing the like the hidden conversations, reading between the lines, hearing between the lines. I just miss that information completely. So for me, there is frankly no alternative to kind of treating each other respectfully.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you opened it, which is it's a feeling. You just feel it. We don't talk enough about this in the business environment, but really, I think we've given such almost 100% attention to our intellect and our mind and zero attention to the impact and how all of our faculties, right? Because we're multi-sensory human beings.
Mm.
That's so powerful, especially in this age of AI. I think that's a huge advantage of the human species that we get to really bring all of those aspects to how we show up.
Yeah, it's part of my agenda, I would say, or very clearly with what we do with Strategy Inc. is kind of humanizing strategy because strategy is a field where dehumanization has been actively on the agenda for decades because strategy needs to be kind of objective, analytical, cold, rational, predictable. While for me, it's these human insights, it's the creativity, it's the passion, it's the purpose, it's those are all human aspects. And by kind of removing all of that, there's nothing left other than clean plans, financially driven plans, which are not so interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think at the end of the day, regardless of whether the company has a purpose statement or not, the purpose of every business is to serve people because that's the engine that keeps it going. All right, so let's go to the next one, my friend. How do you know when respect is not present in a work culture?
Yeah, I think I've answered that question kind of when I talked about when it is present. You feel it when it's present and when you can be open and transparent and just say what you want to say respectfully. Because I think especially today, saying out loud what you want to say is kind of used as an excuse for bullying and for mistreating people, but that's not respect. It's kind of knowing that what taking into account what the effect is on the other person. But when that's absent, that's where you get these hidden conversations, hidden intentions, hidden agendas. But also, I think if there's lots of internal competition, for me, that's a sign that there is no respect. Because
Mhm.
why should there be internal competition? Healthy competition is good, like challenging each other in a productive way, that's good. But there's also lots of unhealthy competition where I'm trying to get a position at the expense of you or the other way around. That's
Yeah,
not respecting, once more, not respecting each other as full people, not respecting the roles we're in.
yeah. No, I think competition internally and with clients or various stakeholders is really a sign of scarcity. It's like,
It
if
is.
there's a belief that there isn't
Yeah.
enough, then yeah, we're going to hoard our piece. Whereas when you have an abundance mindset, it's a whole other game. And I say that in very pragmatic terms. This is not some, woo-woo thing. I think really plays out with some of the greatest in innovators and companies that have succeeded, like Steve Jobs with who would have thought the most powerful machine could be in your pocket. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. And by the way, I
Yeah. And
see
it's it.
that particular example from my Microsoft days where we were so in that scarcity mindset and wanting to be number one that as Apple was coming up and the iPhone was coming up, we're not only in denial, but really doing that competitive, stabbing. Whereas
Mm,
now in Satya Nadella's days, Satya has really embraced more of that open source kind of mentality and said,
mm,
yes, we should be open to have people be able to use Microsoft with Gmail and all of that. So it's a beautiful
why not?
example.
Yeah. And by the way, it doesn't mean kind of this full harmony thing. Like you need friction, you need conflict, but it's different. So it's not the naive, everybody happy, and then let's cuddle and celebrate how great we are. No, it's also conflict, and you're using Steve Jobs as an example. There's lots of conflict. There was lots of conflict because strong opinions, strong viewpoints. But that's not competition. That's collaboration from diverse, like from plurality, from different viewpoints, from different angles. that's definitely what you need. But again, that's respect. It's appreciating, not even accepting, but appreciating the differences between people.
Absolutely, 100% with you. So let's close with your top tips, my friend, on how to have more respect in the workplace.
Top tips. You're 25, or how many do you want?
1 to 3.
Three. Yeah, I think for me, the top one is show empathy, which means try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, see it their ways. If that's the one thing that all of us in this world learn a bit more, then we'd be much better off. So that's my number one. I know it's a big one, not an easy one, but it actually is not difficult. It is easy. It is easy to, if you want, if you intend, you can kind of look at everything from another person's perspective. So that's one. Two would be listen more, talk less. That we talk too much, which of course is easy to say in a podcast where we're just talking. But I've seen so many conversations which are just statement against statement and no one is listening. And we just want to be heard. So stop talking, start listening, and not just to the words, but hear and see what's going on the other side. I think so. It's of course closely related to empathy. And then maybe the most painful one, number three, would be dethrone yourself, make yourself less important than you think you are, because you're not important to a very select group of people on this world, but you're one out of a few billion and here for a few seconds in the history of the earth, or a split second. So you're not important at all. And I think realizing that whatever you do, whatever you think, or whatever, in the big picture, it's not important. This is not to be kind of overly skeptical or anything like that, but know that what you are doing may be important, what you can contribute, but you as a person, you're not closely so important as you think you are. And of course, this is also self-reflective. That applies to me as well, and that applies to you as well. I think if those three tips, if that's kind of the rules you live by in a workplace, would be a fantastic place to work.
I love all three of them. One take on that last one is I think you'll also align with me on this. As much as, yes, I'm just one of billions and just a speck, I think the real power comes in when I don't hold back on bringing my gifts. So it's it's not one or the other. And it's not about ego, but it's about when each of us can be confident in that unique expression of the value we bring to the stakeholders we serve. It actually puts pressure on me to say, oh, I'm responsible to bring my thing to the world, right?
Definitely. It's not you who is important, but what you have to bring or what you're able to bring to the world. That's
Bingo.
if that's the part you emphasize and make as big as you can, that's I think what you try to do, what I try to do, and I think if that's what we do, but at the same time making ourselves less important, then we will do well.
Absolutely. And that's definitely the intention here, is to serve our audience and guests with this topic of leading with respect. Thank you, my friend. I'm delighted.
Thank you for having me.